Today we are honored to hear from Anthony Tyree, a man whose dedication to service and community knows no bounds. As Mayor Pro Tem of Washington, North Carolina, and founder of Eastern Community Care Foundation, Anthony has devoted his career to addressing critical needs, from mental health and substance use services to promoting equity and inclusion for all. And he understands the unique challenges of rural communities and works tirelessly to address them. Anthony's story is one of resilience and leadership, shaped by his distinguished military career in the U.S. Army Military Police Corps, where he earned the Bronze Star Medal for his outstanding work during the Afghanistan conflict. Combine that with his expertise as a licensed clinical counselor, an award-winning leader in addiction counseling, and his pursuit of a PhD right here at ECU. You can see why he's the perfect speaker to inspire us today. Anthony's story is one of resilience, dedication, and steadfast commitment to making a difference. Please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, a man who not only serves his community, but uplifts it as well. Anthony Tyree.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Now, that one at church, good afternoon, I don't know what it was. I always say this, and as you know, you hear this a lot. I'm not going to hold you long this afternoon. So, first of all, thank you all for having me. Sue, thank you so much for the support that you bring to our county, to our area, to all of our motion that we're trying to gain over in our small capital of North Carolina City. So thank you, thank your team. We really do appreciate you guys for everything. Rebranding to ensure that you're aligning well with what we need. And that's where we're going to get into it today. When I got here, sometimes I can prepare certain things, and recently I've just started writing stuff. Outside of that, I just used to do it as I felt it. So I wanted to be a little bit more professional and come before you and be all prepared and ready. So I wrote this long, drawn-out speech, 2,700 slides. That's not the truth, but you know. But nevertheless, the idea was, wait a minute. When I got here and I was kind of seeing how folks were engaging in the sessions and in the meetings and the conversation and even being greeted in the hallway, I said, wait a minute. All this writing stuff ain't always me. Plus, I forgot my glasses, so, you know, there's that. But first, let's take a moment to acknowledge something important. You made it. Here we are. We made it to the end of the morning. When I was looking at the list of activities, I was like, man, it's an early start. Sue, what time you want me there? So that was that. You survived an entire morning of, you know, workshops, networking, and information. Some of you are filled with ideas where others are trying to sort through the important plans for this weekend. I get it. Either way, we're all winning. And I do realize that I am the one in between freedom and continue to listen to me. So I definitely won't be here long. As I watch the sandwiches get smaller, I will be wrapping up. Please believe it. So one of the things I want to add, or I added when I walked in, was a little bit more about who am I. And I look over the room, and I've worked with quite a few people in here, off and on, organization to organization, person to person. And I do want to share a little bit more about who I am, and hopefully that'll give you an idea of why I take such pride and honor of standing before you. I'm the great-great-grandson of a sharecropper that was raised by his granddaughter, who happens to have raised me. In other words, I was raised by my grandmother, who was also raised by her grandparents. So let's do the math. My grandmother, who's still alive and kicking well, stops by my office quite often to make sure my socks are clean and I have on an undershirt. She was born on August 10th, 1940. which means she was raised by parents born in 1890 and 1900, not the 1900s, 1900. Raised on a farm and attending Shaw University before she had to leave because of finances. About 5 years ago, well, probably roughly 5 years ago now, I decided to take her on a tour downtown Raleigh. It's like, Mom, show me what Shaw was for you. So we get there and she's like, I don't know what Shaw was at all because this is not the Shaw that I went to. But she did say, well, I used to stay in a dorm that was located right there, and across the street was the chancellor. She's like, I had the opportunity to work for the chancellor. I made 25 cents a day. My mom and dad, and that's what she called her grandparents. My mom and dad did the best they could from the family farm. About year 3, a lot of us were sleeping in the hallway. We just could not quite connect to what was going on. We need to get out of here. She said, I told myself I was never going back to that small town. I was never going to see it. If I didn't see another row of tobacco, it would have been fine for me. But then I find out 3 years after that, here I am back on the farm because, well, my mom and dad couldn't make it. After some time, she said, well, I reached out to an aunt of mine who was already up north, and, well, she said, I have a room for you, Shirley. And she said, well, can you tell my mama? Because I don't want to tell her that I'm ready to go. And within a month, she said she was in New York. And then from there, she moved to Boston. And then that's where we were created, in Massachusetts. At the age of 3, for me, is when I returned to North Carolina. Now, I'm going to tie this together real quick. As I said, she was raised by her grandparents, who are my great-great-grandparents. And at the end of the day, we moved back into that very house that my great-great-grandfather had built after he was able to move off the main farm that the family shared a house. So now he had his own home, and we moved back there. Now, I was 3 in the year 19... So at this point, we moved back to a home, and my brain somehow collects so much data. My uncles, who are my brothers, always tell me I remember so much, and they have no idea how or why, because I was a quiet type kid, which means I was just nosy. I just couldn't tell them what I was looking at. But at the end of the day, what I ended up watching was a lady who, in 1981, 1982, she had to work to put a working bathroom on the home. See, sometimes when we talk about things and we talk about action, we start thinking about, oh, you must be talking about the 50s or the 40s or something. No, I said 1982, she had to work to get monies to put a working bathroom to connect to the home. Also witnessed my grandmother struggled to afford drainage lines when it was time to put in a septic tank. You know, you have to have X amount of lines and it have to be a certain length and all of those things, you know, for great drainage and all of that. Well, the land wouldn't perk, if some of you know what that is. It won't drain at the rate that is required, right? So there had to be more lines given, and whoever she had do it that offered her a good rate only put in half of what was required and told her, oh, well, suck it up with the rest and maybe the city or the county will be okay with that. This is the 80s. So without the funds, we had to figure out some really ingenious ways to be able to do something as simple as flush the toilet. I'm not talking about the 50s. I'm not talking about the 20s or the 30s. I'm talking about the 80s. The early 80s. I remember when she was threatened to have the small home that her grandfather built with his brother taken away because of back taxes. I remember her walking back into the home with tears saying, I don't have the money. I don't know what they want me to do, but God gonna take care of it. And I hope he's listening because I need him to come on now because I think they're serious. I saw her work 3 jobs and act as if it was normal. Everyone that knew my grandma, she stands about 4 foot 10, maybe 5 feet, depending if I'm in trouble. Then she stands about 7 foot tall. However, the one thing I've always heard about her is she's always worked. 3, 4 jobs, it was, hey, it's fine. I remember one job where she worked at the school I attended, and every time I got in trouble in class, somehow I got in trouble across the hallway in her class too. It was just amazing without cell phones how fast she knew that I was in trouble. But something else outside of the home that I started witnessing in my community, in my neighborhood, I witnessed family members wrongfully accused of crimes. Now let's be clear, all of them weren't innocent, but you get the drift. I saw so many in my community commit crimes with those that did not look like them, yet they always had the harsher outcome. I witnessed my own struggles and wondering how to do this thing we call life. I was raised to pray through depression and ignore anxiety. I was told work harder, work longer, and ensure that bootstrap was pulled up as high as it could go. Many years later, I found myself in the middle of the nonprofit world. We'll come back to that now. Let's discuss something completely different for a moment. Let's discuss something that affects every nonprofit, community, and organization. And it's not funding, though we know the checks do keep the lights on. It's not paperwork. I know you all love a good spreadsheet and an amazing slideshow. I get it. But today we're going to talk about unity. Unbreakable, nurturing, inspiring, trust, and the importance of you. Unity. But I'm going to state the problem first. The silos. Silos filled with great intentions. Everybody has their own ideas and their own directions. Nonprofits, advocates for mental health, housing, education, social justice, youth programs, the list goes on. And we're all out here doing incredible work. We're all present for the work. That alone speaks highly of your intention to see the community, families, or whomever you're here to serve, to see a different outcome. You're present. But too often we operate alone. And sometimes alone isn't just you by yourself. Alone means you got everybody around you that's going to think the way you think and move the way you move and do it the way you want to do it. You surround yourself with people who are acting and performing just like you are. And if not, you have to get rid of them. We focus so much on our programs, our challenges, and our wins that we forget to look outside of that and do what we came here to do and build our bridges. Oftentimes when we're looking at data to go after that next grant, when we're talking to our health departments or our social services or our faith base, what are we looking for? Where's the money going to fall? In the gaps, in the needs. And sometimes we bring our team together because our team is going to be the one to fill that gap. But that's not uniting anything. It may be empowering your ideas and your team, but it doesn't spell unity. See, I can fill the gap, and all of the people that think like I think, look like I look, walk like I walk, talk like I talk, we're doing well. Or I can build a bridge to go get others, to help them get to the same point that I can also get my team to. See, there's a difference. Let's be honest. As we forget to build bridges, this is where the importance of not always having that person at the table that's going to say okay to everything that you want. Because sometimes they may see it a little differently, and that's okay. Because if you look around this room today, there's not one person in here the same. We can all share the same color outfit, the same color theme, same hairstyles. We can all wear glasses. And I promise I'm going to get mine. It's a day 2 forgetting them, and I can't see anything. But we're not the same. We all have a different reason. We all have a different why. And when we unite with each other, we get to learn that. And that empowers us in such a way, the rest of the people that we're here to serve can actually have an example of what it takes to make it. Oftentimes, as we're trying to move forward in our work, we feel that we're stranded. We're by ourselves. And I would challenge you to think about what I just said, because you're trying to fill the gap instead of building the bridge. Because if the bridge is built, as soon as you get in that dark spot by yourself, somebody else just had the opportunity to use that bridge that you built, your team built, to get over there and catch you when you're a little weak. In those dark times where you just feel like that last grant didn't come in, I don't know what we're going to do next. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I don't know how I'm going to continue serving. I don't know what I'm going to continue doing, because as I look around the room, if anybody still thinks that nonprofit work is easier than any other business, we have some more breakout groups to do. There's a challenge here. So, as I continue talking into the solution, to build bridges and not silos, to build bridges and not fill the gaps with our own, the most powerful thing we can do is stop working in silos and start working together. Talk to those that share your vision, but be careful of the negative ones. There's a quote by Dr. Mae Jameson: "Never be limited by other people's limited imaginations." Get yourself a good team. You don't always have to see eye to eye, but you have to be able to have conversation. If you're really here to make a difference, part of that is showing those you're here to serve what a healthy argument looks like. And I purposely said argument and not conversation, because the word comes with so much tension and so much pressure when we're simply just having a difference of ideas. Make your point. Bring your point to the table. Back it with information that we need. The information isn't always a number. Sometimes you have a different conversation from those you're here to serve. As I think I said earlier on this week, if everybody looks in here and you just simply think of how many people you know, how many people that you are here to represent, just you alone, they couldn't fill this room. There'd be too many people to come through those doors. So that means that there's no way everyone in here is going to always see eye to eye on how to help. But when we start talking about how to help, we can argue the loudest, because my way is right. Build yourself a healthy team. Be able to have that open, honest conversation. Think about how much stronger we are when we unite correctly. This points back to my why. If you remember how I started this conversation, highlighting tidbits of where I came from, you may notice some similarities in my work and the agencies that I choose to partner with. Examples of strength: a nonprofit working on mental health, nonprofit working with mental health partners, with the workforce development group to help clients gain employment. A youth mentorship program teams up with a financial literacy organization to prepare young adults for independence. Working with local government to assist seniors with septic issues in small communities. Because as we've learned more to the science now, there's more issues with drainage than we ever thought. However, I remember when we couldn't afford to have a septic tank in. So why wouldn't I sit at that table to have the conversation at this point in my life? It wouldn't make sense. What did I go through it for? A local government collaborating with grassroots nonprofits to tackle community challenges together. Because guess what? No one has all the answers. So as you heard, part of that introduction is Mayor Pro Tem of the same community I grew up in. why wouldn't I take that opportunity? If I want to further the conversation and there's an opportunity for me to do that, why wouldn't I do that? So as I look around in this room, that's what I ask you. Why wouldn't you take that one next step in that direction? And if you feel like you're getting to a point that your steps are getting a little bit shorter, that's okay. We're all going to get there one day. We hope and we pray. But the idea is, if you look around and you did it on your own, you couldn't find anyone else to train and get them together to take your spot, you worked yourself for no reason. Was it ego, or did you have the true intention to make a change? That goes back to the idea of when I plant the tree, the shade's not for me. Unity is a game changer. And the best part, it doesn't require a multi-million-dollar grant, an overworked staff, or a 200-slide PowerPoint. Unity starts with you. Being able to unite starts with you and your purpose and intentions to why you even started in this nonprofit world. So, call to action. Here's my challenge. Let's start to embrace the 3 C's. And I know you've heard this before. 3 C's of unity. Collaborate. Don't wait for someone else to reach out. Make a phone call. One of the first things I received here was a black binder, and you open it up, and on the side there's a list of folks who are here. And there's a list of folks who could not have made it, but they gave their information. Make a phone call. Research some folks. Have a conversation. Talk to them. I don't know about you, but for me to have gone through and be able to stand in front of you, what's meant for me is mine. So if I have a conversation with you and you try to run with it, guess what? You're going to be really tired when you get there and I'm already there. It's for me. So don't be afraid to sit down and have those open, honest conversations about what you're intending to do. And you're looking at agencies saying, hey, I've seen you guys do this over here. I've seen you guys do that over there. Like, who'd you talk to even get that started? I'm no threat to you in Beaufort County, and you're working in Charlotte, you're working in Raleigh, you're in Virginia, even in Greenville. I'm no threat to you. Resources is what make nonprofit world work. Communication. Communicate. We're all in this fight for a better world, but no one would know what you need if you don't speak up. Some people come into nonprofit work with the idea of, I just came from the Fortune 500 corporate world and I'm over here because I do real well with numbers. Well, that's great, but I don't need a numbers person right now. I need somebody who can set my slideshows up because I'm horrible at PowerPoint. Oh, well, I can't do that. Well, I'm not going to waste your talents, but I do have a friend over here who runs an agency who's struggling with their numbers. I would love to connect you to. Collaboration. Communication. I don't know you needed that because you never told me. But I've had 4 people come through my office saying, hey, I'm a beast at numbers. I'm great with taxes. My specialty area is nonprofit. Well, I have a nonprofit CPA already on staff. We do great with them. Thank you. That resource is brought to you for a reason. If you're in the nonprofit world and your toolbox is only filled with your own tools, you're doing it wrong. Sometimes they're there to pass along. Celebrate. Now we can get to the fun part. Celebrate your wins. Don't be too hard on yourself that you forget your wins. Don't be too hard on yourself that you forget your why. You can't save everyone. Combined in here, there's not enough money in this room right now to save everyone. You find your piece of the pie and you work well in that. And allow yourself some grace to lose and win. If you're looking for perfection, practice doesn't even make it because it doesn't exist. You take one step at a time and you have fun doing it, understanding out of 10, if you could help 2, then those 2 go help 4 while you go get you 2 more. It doesn't stop. Step out of your own way. Allow yourself the grace and the motivation to know that the reason that you're put in the place you're in to do whatever it is that you're doing within your community, the reason belongs to you. So understand that just one person that had the opportunity to see you doing what you're doing inspired them to go do it too. So sometimes your losses, it's a personal thing. I get it. You didn't get that grant you really wanted. You done spend all night sometimes, and especially those last minute grants where you done got the team up like, hey, we got 2 hours to get this in. Bring your data to the table. Let's go ahead and sit down. You take section B, I take C, and we're going to get this done. I think we still have the narrative written from last time, don't we? Yeah, well, hey, send that over here. We're going to get this done. We're going to get this locked out. 11:59 turned in. Kind of like some of you that's in school when you had online work to do, and you used to tell the teacher, I'm going to start as soon as I get this syllabus in, and I'm gonna go ahead and knock this out early for you, and it's gonna be in there. And then 11:58, you're talking about, I think I need to tell them that my internet turned off because I can't get it in. It doesn't change. But after you get it turned in, take a moment and look around you. Look at the folks that came to the table with you. Look at the data that you have access to that everyone doesn't. Look at the way that you view what's in front of you as an opportunity and a chance to say, wait a minute, I'm in a different space in my life that I can take these numbers, I can take these situations, and I can put a little bit of me in here. I can sprinkle all of that together, and look what happens, man. We're putting together efforts. We have an opportunity. That's what this is all about. So again, give yourself grace. Find your tribe. Make sure your tribe isn't just people making you feel okay. Some of my best moments were when I was extremely uncomfortable. When I had that opportunity, somebody tapped me on my shoulder and said, if you keep going down that road, it's going to get really dark for you. So me being me, I kept right on down that road. And it got really dark. But the best moment out of that is I could turn around and I could still see them standing back there like, you can come on back this way. I'm not going down there with you, but you can come back this way. I didn't leave you. Just because you didn't do what I wanted you to do in that moment, I didn't leave you. I'm not going with you, but I'm right here whenever you need me. That's what nonprofit world is about. That's what giving back is about. And if not, as I said yesterday, check your personal compass. So, with that, unity, togetherness. Now, I do a little exercise, and it's about weathering the storm. Some of you have done this with me before. But the intent of this exercise, one, is to see if younger folks than I can follow simple directions. Two, is to give you an example of how the storm can start off calm, and it can get to a point that is raging, but if you stick with it and you stay together, you have the ability to calm it. So, I need everybody to give yourself a little bit of room from the table. Now, all right, not too far because you're still gonna need the table. So, first thing I want everybody to do, I'm sorry, I have to turn on my other voice now. I can't do this behind a microphone. All right, can everybody hear me? Yes. Great, all right. The first thing I want everybody to do, I want to see if everybody can do this. All right, great, thank you. Good deal. Now I want to see if everybody can do this. Patrick, okay, great, thank you. Next thing I want to see if everybody can do, can you rub your hands together? Y'all doing this. Can you rub your hands together? Okay, great. Now, last thing I want you to do now, please be careful, don't break anything. I want you to tap your table like this. Great. Now we're gonna put all this together. So, as I walk across the room, as I'm going like this, I'm gonna give the first signal. So let's try it. I want everybody to Rub your hands together first. So, only as I walk, right? But as I stop, you continue going until you get a new instruction, okay? Let's try it. All right, thank you. So, I think we got it. If you see me do this, I want you to do whatever you're doing hard. All right? You ready? So, we're going to start out with this. No. Do it harder. Harder. Table. Keep it going. Keep it going. So from the wind comes the raindrops. To the rain. And from the rain comes a storm. But together, we can calm it down to bring back the wind. All right. Thank you guys for participating in that one with me. So, in closing, I'll leave you with this. When I was 10, my grandmother remarried. And she married a man who was absolutely amazing, but I was too young to know it. He was older. Had a lot of experiences. Him and his brothers were amazing craftsmen. They had military careers. They worked on different bases. They did so much, but at home, they were farmers. They were construction. There's nothing I didn't see them fix. Nothing I didn't see them change. If Mom wanted a barn, he'd go out there, he'd run the power, he'd get the roof it was just amazing. But I was too young to realize everything that was in front of me. But one thing he left me with, that I'm going to leave you with today. As you fight, as you show up in these rooms and you show up in these conversations, fight like you're the one without the food. Fight like you're the one that need housing. Advocate like you're the one without transportation. As I asked you before, to think of the people that you know, that you represent, the numbers of those, at least 5 to 10 per person in here, probably more. That's what they need you to do. You are their voice. Fight like when the temperatures drop, you're the one without heat. Fight to the point that the people in the room that don't know you start asking, how'd you even get in here? That's the purpose of community. And when you do that, you'll look to your left and right, and you'll see other people strapped up and ready to fight with you, as if they are the same ones that have absolutely nothing. And that's their purpose. Thank you.
I love how Anthony brought up bridges, building bridges. Oftentimes as nonprofits, we are so busy doing our work, we have our heads down, we have our mission, we have our focus and our goals, but we forget to look up. We forget to look up and look beside us to see who we could build a bridge to help us do our work. So thank you, Anthony, for bringing that up. And our why. Our why is our passion, the reason that we do this work. It's heavy work at times. It really is. Again, use your bridges to bring back that passion on those moments when you just don't know how much further you can fight. We are here to lift each other up because our communities need us. There are gaps, but that's why we have the bridges. So to close out today, it's been an inspiring morning. I almost wish it would keep going on, so maybe next year we do a little longer, Karen. More workshops, more. I mean, this has just been absolutely fabulous. I can't. We owe a profound thank you to East Carolina University. They hosted us today. What began as a simple request for a workshop quarterly with one instructor evolved into this, and that has to do with a lot of the vision when we came to ask for help. We asked for help. Those are the three most powerful words you can ever utter is, I need help. And I told them the why. That we need to invest in our nonprofit organizations differently. And this is what, with their vision and our ask for help, that we came up with. So I really hope that you enjoyed today and got a lot out of it. These free learning opportunities is to help you and your staff grow. As United Ways, we are part of a global network. We have a lot of resources and information and a network available to us. A lot of you don't. But you provide such profound work in your communities that we want to lift you up. And this is one way that we, as United Ways, as ECU, we invest in you, is what we're doing today. So thank you to everyone. We really appreciate ECU's enthusiasm and their willingness to collaborate and commit to this innovative approach to nonprofit empowerment, from leveraging their outstanding resources to coordinating today's workshops. Delicious food, lunch was fantastic, breakfast was stellar. I mean, those sweet treats were awesome. The exciting swag, the portfolios, right? Yeah. And the top-notch instructors. The instructors, again, it makes me want to go back to school. TD, you've inspired me to want to go back to school at 60. ECU, you've truly gone above and beyond to ensure the success of our first nonprofit summit. We owe a tremendous amount of debt and gratitude to the team here at ECU, and I'd like to call them out. I hope they're all here in the room. From East Carolina College of Business, Office of Expert Services, who helped make today possible. Dr. Amy McMillan. David Loomis, I see you. Come on up here, David. Samantha. And Tiffany Woodward. Tiffany, who is also a member of my board of directors and helped me bring this to ECU.
Thank you. I do. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Don't go away yet.
Thank you. Okay.
David. Leading the coordination of today's summit was Karen. Karen, your energy and exuberance for your work and for the community have been a driving force behind this summit's success. Thank you so very much. Please accept this popcorn token, but also. Your hard work. Rachel, give me a chance.
Thank you all. Thank you.
ECU's motto is to serve. It's not just words, it's a call to action. Today's summit has been a testament to the core values of service, inclusivity, and commitment to transforming lives and communities. These values align perfectly with our collective vision of building a brighter future for all, no matter where we live. So let us leave here today with a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that the connections we've made, especially new connections today, the knowledge that we've gained and the inspiration we've shared today will ripple outward, empowering us to continue making lasting impact in our communities. Together, we have the tools to ensure our organizations thrive and our communities flourish. So thank you for all of your hard work, your passion, and your dedication to the people that you serve where you live. Safe travels, and we look forward to seeing you and the incredible work that you will continue to do in your communities. Thank you for joining us today.